See, this is native land. The natives here put up fences and signs. They say no trespassing, violators will be prosecuted. They're so territorial, and I don't understand it because I'm a child of the earth and I don't understand these borders, these barriers, these restrictions. Surely the land belongs to everyone. Surely you can't own land. I just don't understand it. But I'm probably a little bit simple and primitive. But here I am in the bosque, the beautiful bosque in New Mexico. This is the part of the bosque, the forest that grows by the river. This land is free for everyone to use, even disgusting, dirty pig foreigners like me. Here is the Blair Witch shed construction that I didn't build. Some kind of fucking weirdo built it, and has most likely had some kind of ritualistic sex inside of it, possibly with a farm animal of some sort. I've been running in this bosque now for over 15 years. Not non-stop, obviously. As you can see, I'm not... What the fuck was that? All right, I did a runner. I heard a commotion coming from the tribal land. I think the natives were coming to kill me for making a mockery of their stolen lands. But what am I doing? Oh yeah, it's Rugby Round to Banter. How are you doing? I'm fucking knackered. Sorry, I don't have a lot of enthusiasm and energy for this. I'm doing the latest in my series, my very popular series of top 10 England players by position, sort of a top 10 ranking. But now, if you watched last week, you'll have seen me fail miserably at coming up with a top 10 English fly halves. And I realized that's because doing the back three was easy, doing centres was easy, because, you know, there's two wingers and a lot of players that play fullback are also play on the wing. So it's easy to come up with 10 in a 10-team league. So that was fine, but then I got to fly half, 10 teams. There's not even 10 starting fly halves that are English. And there's not a hell of a lot of talent coming through. So I've switched to the top 5 now since I'm doing scrum half. And maybe I'll go back to top 10. I'll have to go to top 10 for back row, because that's going to be ludicrous. There's so much talent there. But top 5 scrum halves, again, I don't know. I think this will be pretty easy. If you've never seen one of my top 10/top 5 videos before, the rules for this are, I start at number 1 because it's actually more exciting that way, although this probably won't be very exciting because it's pretty clear cut, the pecking order. But generally it's more fun to work my way from number 1, go down, and then I haven't mentioned your favorite player in that position. You start going, what fucking idiot, he's forgotten him. And then he pops up, you know, number 7 when it was a top 10. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm not, I mean it. Or sometimes I do forget players. Another rule is I'm not picking players based on talent. I'm not going, oh, this guy's got a lot of promise. He's in the fucking Leicester Academy and has made a couple of appearances off the bench and I like what I see. I'm looking at who could fill, you know, put on an England shirt today, not literally today, unless today is you're watching this on a England match day. And as I go through the team, as I've mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, we're imagining that those 1, 2, 3, 4 players have all been murdered by James Haskell in a fit of egocentric DJ house music fueled toxic banter. And they're all in the club, and Haskell's been DJing for a while, but then he realizes people are only into the music and they're not actually paying attention to him. So he turns it off and starts talking about himself, and all these scrum halves, their ears are bleeding, they're screaming, saying, please stop, stop. And he's going, no. The thing about me, you see, is I'm Marmite. Some people love me, some people hate me, but you know, it's all about me, isn't it? It's bloody great. Been working on a James Haskell impression for a while, and I haven't done it for like a week, and now I've lost it. That was terrible. But I got his essence, didn't I? I think so. Anyway, you get the jizz of it. My point is, I'll name successively the players that I think are best at scrum half for England, English qualified. It's very simple. I don't know why I'm explaining it again. Let's just do it, shall we? So at number 1, England's #1 scrum half. Now, it's tricky because of injuries, okay? I'm still going to say Alex Mitchell is England's #1 scrum half because, yes, he's been out injured. I could very well just go, you know what? If he's not fit to play for England right now, ow, Christ, I got a bunch of fucking thorns in my leg. If he's not fit to play for England right now, how can we name him in this top 5? Well, I'll tell you why. I don't think I can think of 6. But watching Alex Mitchell in an England shirt, he really does play consistently well for England in a way that is not typical with English scrum halves. We're going through a bit of a rough patch at the moment. Ever since Ben Youngs was in his prime, and you had Danny Kerr competing with him, we've got a few scrum halves that have looked good in the Premiership, but very rarely have they been able to step up. Alex Mitchell has actually done that enough times that, to me, he's kind of like the scrum half equivalent of Sam Underhill, where if he's fit, you just play him, you know? But #2, it's immediately a little bit tricky here because even Steve Borthwick, I don't think, knows who his #2 scrum half is. Hence, we've seen a bit of chopping and changing. And I wouldn't even really blame Borthwick for that. It's more to do with players not stepping up and showing that they've got the goods when given the opportunity. But for me, at #2, I'm going with my personal favourite, and that's Little Harry Randall. Now, look, I know what you're thinking. Little Harry Randall has been given a couple of chances, more than a couple of chances in his career for England, coming off the bench, and running with his candle. He didn't even light his fucking candle. He might have a candlestick in his pocket, but he's not using it. If you don't know what that means, who the fuck are you? I feel like everybody knows about Little Harry Randall running with his candle. Just do your research before you watch one of my videos next time. But Little Harry Randall is such a complete scrum half, and I think a lot of the criticism of him coming off the bench, it is justified in the sense that he hasn't blown anyone's minds. But they've been tricky. They've been kind of tricky. He's come on in kind of tricky situations, you know, and he hasn't been given, for me, enough time for us to just completely evict him from the England setup or even from my ranking. So, I still think he's such a special attacking threat. And one of the great things about Little Harry Randall is his confidence, his tenacity. It's the mental side of his game. Physically, he is very quick, very explosive. He's got all the skills, but he's also got the self-belief that is something that, you know, I certainly wish I had. Especially the other night when I was having sex and I just popped into my head, what if my dick didn't work? And then you know what happens after that. It's a nightmare. I got there in the end, but Jesus Christ, how many times does it have to happen? Just work, you know? Happens to everybody, I know that, but one of the things I hate about New Mexico is it's a very aggressive state. You probably don't know anything about New Mexico except what you've seen on Breaking Bad. That's not far off. There's a lot of violence here, but you come out into nature, even the plants are aggressive here. Look at this. Little tiny spikes all over that. And look, they're in my leg. Can you see that? That's fucking cactus. I've walked through cactus and I didn't even realize it. My leg is on fire right now. God, that's fucking annoying. My leg's on fire. I'm gonna have to pull all these little quills out. Oh, it's horrible. You see this shit? That's what I'm talking about. Did you see I got no hair on that side of my leg, by the way? Look at that, I don't shave my legs. That just happened. I'm hairy as fuck on most of my body, but on the sides of my lower legs, there's just nothing. Smooth like an old man's. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the dick problem, I don't want to think about it. Anyway, Little Harry Randall at #2. #3. Now, I'm just going to say it. For me, it's Ben Spencer. And they're really neck and neck. Not just Ben Spencer and Little Harry Randall. Alex Mitchell, too, since he has been out for a while. Once he's fit and available again, any of these three could start for England, and I wouldn't complain. Ben Spencer, though, has to be... If anyone's been hard done by during these autumn internationals, it's Ben Spencer. I mean, He started against New Zealand, and I don't think he was bad. Like, he wasn't exceptional, but, you know, it's a hard game. First game he's played in an England shirt for a while. Team that isn't used to playing together. It's kind of fucked up, if you ask me, that he wasn't given the full series to start for England. He is a very complete scrum half. Similar to little Harry Randall, he has that confidence just written all over his face. He's got leadership skills. His kicking game is excellent, and he has, I was going to say underrated, but I don't think it is underrated. I think everyone knows that he has speed, so he can play good attacking rugby. You know, I'm almost talking myself into putting him at number 1. But I'm biased. On my podcast recently, I said I'm being a hypocrite because I still want little Harry Randall in the England squad, even though he hasn't played any better than, for example, Ben Spencer. But I don't care, it's my list. So Ben Spencer at number 3. Now, number 4. For some of you, you're probably thinking, I've walked into a swamp. Ugh, Jesus Christ. New Mexico, do you know what? Nature just tells everyone in New Mexico, you are not welcome here. You know, and then you've got the natives with their land I'm not allowed in. I want to go in there. I want to see what they've got. What are they hoarding in there? Gold? Fucking alcohol? Oil? Non-prickly plants? I can only imagine. Number 4, you're probably thinking, well, this is obvious. It's got to be the man that started for England in the last Test match against South Africa, Jack Van Portfleet. It's not. And if you'd ever bothered to listen to my fucking podcast, Rugby Rant to Banter, the best podcast, not just the best rugby podcast, the best podcast on earth, you would already know that I wouldn't pick Jack Van Portfleet at 4. Oh, hang on a second, I got too many thorns in me. Because much like Alex Mitchell has proven himself time and time again to be capable, competent, excellent in an England shirt, Jack Van Portfleet, he may be a great, you know, a very talented player. I know he's got a good box kick on him, at least in terms of distance. I know that he's very fast. I know he's had some good games for Leicester, but he's had opportunities for England, and he's always looked out of his element to me. And the same thing happened against South Africa, and people are saying, well, come on, yes, he got charged down a couple of times. Yes, he looked a bit nervous, but he wasn't getting protected enough by his pack. Yeah, sure, maybe. But, you know, this is consistent with him. The last few times I saw him play for England, which is probably fucking years ago now, I can't remember, but I just remember thinking how nervous he looked, how fumbly he was at the back of the scrum, back of the ruck. I'm pretty sure I've seen him get charged down before. To me, it's like one of those things where it's like, reminds me of Danny Cipriani. So pre-ankle break, Danny Cipriani was amazing. I mean, such a talent, so incredible. Then he broke his ankle really badly. He came back and he was never the same. And I remember defending him when he was getting picked for England at fly half. But he got charged down in, I think, 3 matches in a row. If it wasn't 3 matches in a row, maybe it was 2 England matches in a row, but twice in 1 match. He just developed this habit of getting charged down. And you could just see, he was never the same. His confidence was never the same. Now, I don't know what Jack Van Portfleet's deal is, but I think when you're getting charged down in an England shirt, that is going to have psychological ramifications, and it's going to dent your confidence. And like I said, I just don't see, can you really see Jack Van Portfleet being a World Cup winning starting scrum half? I don't think that he has the mental fortitude. I don't think he has the, the cojones. And, you know, it's not even an insult. I mean, he would find that insulting if he listened, and he probably is. I'm sorry, Jack. I wouldn't have it. I would barely be able to. Do you ever, like, sometimes I'll just be walking. I remember walking at the mall here in America, and there was a group of, like, teenage girls. I have no interest in teenage girls, but I know they're probably going to look at me, and there's a chance that one of them's going to go, yes, daddy, or something, and it's going to make me feel really uncomfortable. And so I became self-conscious. I actually found myself, as I was walking, like, not sure how to walk. Like, I was like, what am I doing? Left, right, what is this? Jesus fucking Christ, yes, daddy. I yelled at them as I hobbled away. They thought I was fucking insane. But that's my point, is I get affected by pressure quite easily. I mean, I told you about my performance anxiety situation the other night. So I could never even get near it. I mean, there's a million reasons why I'd never be near an England shirt, but even if I had the talent and the skills to get me there in my youth, in my prime, I'd have failed because of that. And that's what he's got. So Jack Van Portfleet is a fucking loser just like me. So yeah, he's not at number 4. You thought he would be, but he's not. You know who is? I'll tell you. It's Will Porter, innit? Will Porter, formerly of Wasps, now at Quins, right? Played for England A the other day. That's not gay. I just wanted to rhyme with day, sorry. I can make gay jokes, by the way. I was telling someone the other day I can make gay jokes because my son is gay. My son Caleb, or Galeb, as I've always called him. I can also make racist jokes because I'm a racist. It's sort of expected of me, isn't it? Think about it. That's the one person that you would actually accept using the N-word. Like, what did he say? That's terrible, that's racist. No, he is a racist. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realise. It's all right. Just think it through next time. You never know who you're talking to. What the fuck am I talking about? Someone's coming. Fucking another one. It was an old lady walking past. I had to stop recording. And then an old man running. He stopped running. He's probably just running because I was there and he wanted to look cool. It's horrible making YouTube videos out in nature, which is technically the public, although I wish everyone would fuck off. Because I'm a little bit shy. I get embarrassed. I'm not shy, I'm very outgoing, but I feel like a twat, you know, just in general. But especially when I'm recording out here. Like, who does he think he is? What is this, a YouTube thing? Yeah, it is. You cunt. I'm gonna fucking get him. He's too fast. He's too fast. Will Porter. He's number 4 for me. Every time I see him play, he looks great. And played a really good part in that very good try for England A the other day. That was enough for me to seal the deal. Now, number 5. Very tricky because I've sort of just written off Jack Van Portfleet, haven't I? But who else is there? Well, the big issue here, the big problem is that England has a scrum half who has all of the skills, all of the attributes to be the best in the country and be world class and would absolutely be in the number 1 position, except he doesn't have the ability to ever be fit. It's, of course, Rafi Quirk. Phenomenal talent. It's such a nightmare that this happens all the time, doesn't it? I think it's just another way that the universe says fuck you to us. It's like, oh, do you want this shiny, lovely, special magic thing? Look at that. A world-class scrum half, lightning fast, bizarrely strong in a sort of, what the fuck's his name? Who's the famous French scrum half that everyone loves? Dupont. Doesn't look like he could be that strong, but he is. All of the skills. Freakish, but you can't have it because it's going to be, I'm just going to take it off the shelf. It's not available for you. Did that make sense? I hope that did. So I can't put Rafi Quirk in this top 5, even though I want to. So at this point, do you know what I'm going to do? This is so disrespectful to Jack Van Portfleet. Obviously, most people would have had Jack Van Portfleet somewhere in the top 5. I'm dragging Danny Care back in. I'd rather have, if it's a World Cup final and no one else is available and I can have Danny Care or Jack Van Portfleet, I'm taking Danny Care every day. Which is more of an indictment of the talent that England has right now, the talent that the Jack Van Portfleet's ability to play test match rugby, and stupid Rafi Quirk being injured all the time. Anyway, that's my top 5. This would have been a quick video, wouldn't it, if I hadn't gone insane and said a bunch of weird shit. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments. All 12 people that watch this. Share this because I think it was a good one, wasn't it? I think I'm adding a lot of quality and you know, quality content to the rugby creator. I've bored shitless of what I was saying. Follow me on Twitter. No, I'm not on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at Eddie Stevens Massive. I'm very accessible there. You can message me anything you want, and I'll respond. But don't talk shit, because, as the rugby brethren will attest, I'm very easy to wind up. I will always bite. Can't help myself. Talk shit if you want to. See what happens. Follow me on TikTok if you're into extremely homoerotic, self-indulgent, shirtless workouts in my disgustingly messy garage gym here in New Mexico in the United States. And of course, like and subscribe to this. I gotta go. My shoulder's on fire right now, and my legs they're actually recovered, but there's still little quills inside them. I gotta pull those out. So I'll see you next week when I do back row, which should be very, very long. A very long video. I'll see you then.